Excuse me, but who told you that you could sit at this table? No one. But why should it matter where I sit? Because I got this table first and I won't have special ed losers messing up my space.
Who is that rude guy?
That's Sammy, and he has always hated kids like me that he thinks are beneath him.
Oh, and what makes him so superior?
You are so kind to offer me a meal with you. So, is this a date?
I guess you can call it that. I enjoy your company.
But I'm hardly dressed up for anything special. I didn't even think to put on any makeup.
That doesn't matter. I like you just as you are.
Are you sure we can afford the food here?
Of course. My father James gave me $100 last week, so I can pay for anything we want on this menu. It's bad enough I have to attend school with you losers, but now you dare to show up here? Though it is fitting that you would date the ugliest girl in the school who dresses like a hobo. Ha 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 ha. And what are you doing here, Sammy? Who I date and where I go is none of your business. Don't talk back to me. I am happy to take you down. You don't belong here. And then Mac remembers the advice James gave to Urlock. Never let anyone treat you, your mate, or your daughter flow like you are lesser beings. You should consider such a person to be your enemy. Let's see how tough you are.
My first date ever and it's ruined.
I'll put a stop to this. Do you want me to call the police and have you arrested for disturbing the peace? That boy you picked to fight with is the son of the restaurant's owner, so he is more than welcome to eat here. You are the intruder. Get out. Now. My son just told me you caused trouble for him at school as well as here. If you try to bully him ever again, I'll come after you and get you in trouble with your parents. Oh, and of course, you are banned permanently from this place.
So, Anna, are you happy now?
Yes, you fought for me against that bully as did your mother. I think I will love being your girlfriend.
Admiral, we have a problem. We just got an angry message from another group of Sabari that have just arrived in our system.
This is Commander Gomer of the Sabari survivors. We have tracked you elitists to this system and are hunting you. You left us to die, but now we intend to make you die instead.
When we left our home world, we assumed the people we were leaving behind were dying out. Of course, since we Nikos were slaves to the Sabari elitists, it is possible that he saved us because they wanted to keep us as slaves. We should contact these survivors and get the truth from them and explain what happened since we left our home world.
So Admiral Omar opens a channel to the Sabari survivors. Greetings. I am Admiral Omar of the Earth Space Force. We just received your message saying you are looking for elitists who left you to die. Can you explain what happened? We Sabari come from a planet about 200 light-years from this system. We numbered about 8 billion, not including 3 billion of another race called the Nikos that our ancestors conquered and enslaved centuries ago. Over the centuries, our own economic policies resulted in the environment of our homeworld being ruined and we were in danger of becoming extinct. And in the midst of all that, the very elitists, whose leadership pushed the rest of us into this dire situation, abandoned us. We thought we were doomed. But soon afterwards, a visionary leader rose among us, named Chiron. He taught us all a better way of living, causing us to abandon the capitalism that had dominated our world and replacing it with socialism. He abolished slavery and made us Sabari and the Nikos with us equals. Together, we began to repair the massive environmental damage to our world. Then we decided we needed to find and punish the elitists who left us behind, so we built this massive warship and came to the system we knew they had come to. So, have you seen them? Admiral Omar tells Commander Gomer the whole story about the encounter with the Sabari elitists at Mars and the brief war that was fought against the elitists to take back Mars from them. Awesome. You defeated them, saving us the trouble of doing it. So did you exterminate them? Because we would have. No, we spared some of them and now they are under the watchful eyes of us and our Nico's allies that we freed from slavery. I see. Well, those elitists still must pay for what they did to us, so I want to take them back to our homeworld as prisoners, along with the Nicos that are with you. You are right. Mars belongs to you humans alone, and so after we remove the Sabari elitists and Nicos from that planet, we will leave you in peace. Thank you, Commander. Mr. President, I have good news and bad news for you. The good news is that another faction of Sabari just came to Mars, and they took with them the Sabari that were here along with the Nicos, so that means only humans remain on this planet. The bad news is that the removal of the aliens means we don't have enough people to manage this colony by ourselves. We need more colonists to come to Mars to repopulate the place. This is working out even better than I ever would have hoped for a year ago. I will put out a call for thousands of people to be sent to Mars within a few months. It's time to begin expanding our power throughout the solar system, using Mars as our stepping stone to greatness.
That's the third woman we have found murdered in this park. It seems clear we have a serial killer in this city. And all the women killed here were lesbians. This is a very personal matter for me, since I am myself in a lesbian relationship. What if Debbie was to be targeted by this lunatic? Losing her would destroy me.
All the more reason for us to hunt down this monster. All three of the lesbians he killed was someone's daughter and maybe another woman's love partner. Virginie, I need you and the other models to stay out of the park next door to our headquarters. Carrie warned me last night that 3 women so far have been murdered there.
You think the killer is targeting models of our agency?
So far, none of the victims have been models, but we should still be careful.
We could still have photo sessions in the park, but never alone. Perhaps we should hire more bodyguards.
Carrie, would you consider working for my agency as a bodyguard for some of my models? Surely that would be less depressing for you to protect living people instead of investigating cases of those who are dead.
I appreciate the thought, but I feel I have a duty to track down killers like the one we are dealing with now. As long as such vicious criminals are a threat, someone must stop them.
She has a point, but I worry about her. If she was to be killed in the line of duty, my life would be ruined.
So, what do you think of Debbie's proposal?
That you become a bodyguard to models of Aphrodite Agency? I actually think that's a good idea. And I'd like to volunteer for that job too. Because it might give us an opportunity to catch the killer of those lesbians.
That would work, but only if we act exclusively as bodyguards to lesbian models.
It wouldn't hurt to ask Debbie about that. I'll call her now. Debbie, do you know how many of the models in your agency are lesbians?
There is only one lesbian working for me now. Her name is Karen Lanyard.
Carrie and I are still investigating those recent murders of lesbians here in Dallas, but in the meantime I think it practical to try to prevent this Karen Lanyard from becoming another victim of this serial killer. Would you hire us to be her bodyguards?
Sure. Come by my office and I will introduce you to her.
Are you sure about this? There are other cases we have been working on.
Those can wait. Issues of cheating or domestic violence pale in comparison to murder. Let's go see Debbie and that model.
So you and your partner in Queer Avengers want to act as my bodyguards to protect me from the serial killer?
That's right. None of his known victims have been models yet, but we know he is targeting lesbians for some reason, so you could be a future target.
If you are going to protect me, you should also protect my wife Jessica. She would also be a likely target of that killer. Indeed, she is actually a co-owner of the Hard and Heavy Club.
Yeah, my husband Michael and I have been there a few times. So if I was to protect you here, I could send Carrie to protect your wife at her club. What do you two think?
Sure, Mrs. Lanyard. If your wife will hire me to be a bouncer at the club, I'd be happy to help watch over her.
Welcome aboard, Carrie. And thank you for volunteering to be my bodyguard and a bouncer at my club. I certainly hope that killer gets caught soon. His remaining free to kill again is bad for business, obviously.
Indeed. So, what am I supposed to do here?
Just hang around here and watch for trouble and be quick to react if someone causes problems.
And that completes the autopsy. We have confirmed that this victim was killed the same way as the other two. She was strangled with a rope.
The same rope that was used to kill the other two lesbians, perhaps? I'd think shooting someone would be more efficient.
It's also much louder and therefore more likely to attract attention.
We need to figure out how this killer is luring lesbians into the park to murder them.
It's possible the killer is posing as a prostitute that has lesbian clothes.
You think this killer could be a woman? Nearly all serial killers are men.
True, but why would a lesbian go to a park to have sex with a man? It's more likely she would go with a woman. Mother Debbie used to know a woman named Rose Dawson who was a prostitute for many years. She once told me that about a third of Miss Dawson's clients were women. It seems many women, even those who are not LGBT, use prostitutes to have sexual pleasure while avoiding pregnancy.
That sounds unlikely to me. But of course, I am not lesbian or even bisexual, so I may not know as much as your lesbian mother. Now let's sew up this body and fill out the report to give to the Dallas police.
Mac and Dana are visiting Eric Sterling's auto shop. This is where I hope to have a career in a few years. I became interested in this sort of job after my father brought his car here to have an oil change and one of its tires replaced.
Awesome. I like working on cars too. Maybe we can do this sort of work together.
You would rather us be co-workers than lovers? I've heard that co-workers shouldn't date because it might cause problems at work.
Oh, really? Now what?
What are you two doing here? I could ask you the same damn question, Sammy. Are you trying to pick another fight with me like you did at my mother's restaurant? No, I just need my car's oil changed. Interesting that you look down on people like me even while relying on us lesser beings to do things like work on your car. If you are so superior, why not change your car's oil yourself? Yeah. I wasn't the best student in high school either, but like Mac I knew exactly what I wanted to do with my life. I will work on your car now. But in a few years Mac might be the one to do it. And you should always treat with respect the ones whose work you rely on for your own well-being.
Looks like Sammy is actually the stupid one around here.
It has been a week since Carrie and Charles began working as bodyguards for the Lanyard couple. Now they, along with Richard and Diana, discuss the case they are investigating. We know that serial killers are often creatures of habit, and this is reflected in their crimes. They will target a certain type of person, or kill in certain places, or use a certain method of killing. And this killer we are hunting has all three such characteristics. He is targeting lesbians, but not other women or gay men, so that seems to rule out general misogyny or homophobia as a motive. All three of his victims were killed in the same city park, and all of them were strangled with a rope. Richard, what clues have you and Diana managed to uncover?
The reports from all three murder scenes indicate no fingerprints left behind, so it seems this guy always wears gloves when he kills. Clearly someone who is a bit smarter than most killers.
We have also looked at the case files for each victim to try to see what other things these victims may have in common besides being lesbians. Case number 1, Jennifer Hagelman, age 32, married with 2 daughters. Occupation, waitress. Case number 2, Lisa Jones, age 21, single with no kids. Occupation, college student. Case number 3, Diana Parker, age 25, married with 1 son. Occupation, none. These case files include photos of the victims, and besides being lesbians, they all have one other thing in common. They all had long blonde hair.
Oh, no. And knowing the park he did the killings and is right down the street from the headquarters of Aphrodite Agency, that means the most likely future target of this killer is Debbie.
Oh, no. We've got to warn her.
So you think this killer may be targeting me? But why?
Well, the sooner we can catch him, the sooner we can get the answer to that question. We know he is deeply fixated on lesbians with long blonde hair and does his crimes near your modeling agency's headquarters. Richard, isn't that your phone?
Yes. One moment, please. Hello.
Richard, I am calling to alert you that a fourth victim has been found in that same park. Like the others, she was strangled.
And let me guess. She also had long blonde hair?
That's right. How did you know?
The other 3 victims also had that same trait. As does my mother Debbie. I'm talking with her about this case right now.
I have an idea. What if we were to set a trap for this killer? With me as the bait?
Absolutely not. I can't stand the thought of you possibly dying because of him.
And how many times have you risked your life for others, Carrie? If this killer is somehow obsessed with me, then I have a responsibility to put a stop to his madness. Remember decades ago when you beat the shit out of Ted Wilson in public and was jailed for that? This is no different.
We can put a wire on you and watch you carefully to see if you draw out the killer, then rush in and grab him before he can actually kill you.
I will go to the police department and ask them to send several officers with us to help stop the suspect. So when will we be doing this?
All the killings so far have been at night. And at the edge of the park is a bridge where several homeless people are known to sleep. My guess is the killer is one of them.
Then let's do this. Even if he does kill me, at least I will be his last victim. I will do whatever I can to stop him.
After consulting with the Dallas Police Department, the Queer Avengers, plus Debbie, Richard, and Diana, prepare to set the trap for the serial killer of blonde lesbians.
I can assure you that your wife will be closely monitored. We will be able to hear everything from the listening device hidden in her blouse.
All right. Richard, can you hear me from your position?
Yes, Mother Carrie. We just parked at the southern end of the park.
We can see the bridge where the homeless people are gathered to sleep.
Charles here with the police chief. We are parked at the eastern side of the park, near the entrance closest to the headquarters of Aphrodite Agency. That's where Debbie will come in.
I will call Debbie now and tell her to start her walk. Debbie, everyone else is prepared and in position. Are you ready?
Yes. It is 11 p.m. now, so I will proceed towards the bridge. If the killer is among the ones staying there, hopefully he will notice and approach me. And Carrie, don't worry so much. I can defend myself. I learned from the best.
Excuse me, lady, but do you have any money so I can eat a meal later?
Sorry, but I have no cash on me.
That's okay. I can take much more from you than your money. Do you know who I am, Debbie Smith?
Oh my God. Is that you, Fred Munson? We were classmates in high school.
That's right, you bitch. Haha, looks like you've been a bad girl.
No, Fred, I was just being excused from Miss Jenkins' Bible reading, because I don't believe in the Bible.
And that makes you a bad girl. Everyone knows good people believe in God and the Bible. So long.
That smart ass. He knows nothing about me.
You were the most beautiful girl in the whole school, and so many boys wanted you, including me, but you wouldn't look at any of us. Instead, you hooked up with Carrie. I wanted to bust her ass for taking you from us. But then she beat up on Ted Wilson in the boys' room, and then I knew I could never have you, because if even Ted couldn't stand up to her, how could I? I spent so many years trying to find someone as lovely as you to be with, but no girl would settle down with me. You were my best option. So I finally decided that if I couldn't have you, Carrie shouldn't either, and so I would have to kill you.
But
You killed 4 other women who had long blonde hair and were lesbian. What was the point of that?
I would go to gay and lesbian bars looking for you and would see others that reminded me of you. Then I would follow them away from the bars and kill them and drag their bodies to this park and leave them there. They were lesbian and blonde, so killing them made me feel like I was killing you too. And how lucky I am that now you yourself have come to me. Die, you bitch. And then Fred pulls out his rope and tries to wrap it around Debbie's neck. But then Debbie pulls out a gun.
I came prepared, idiot. Debbie.
He's still alive, but thanks to that gunshot he won't be killing anyone else for a long time. We will take him to hospital and then later to jail. Thank you for your help, Mrs. Smith. No doubt, you saved others by stopping this madman.
Debbie, this is why I am so proud to have you as my boss. You really are a fearless leader.
You and your wife Carrie are welcome to join us tonight at the Hard and Heavy Club, where we will hold a special celebration in your honor. Drinks for you will be on the house.
I'd love that. I will also bring Charles, his husband Michael, and my son Richard and his wife Diana as well. They should all be part of the celebration.
Absolutely. See you later, hero.